Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Google Hangout here, another business breakthrough Google Hangout. And I'm really excited again about what we're going to be covering here today. I am not at the Canadian Lake Home. I'm in our international office today. We've got so much going on. I'm behind already in vetting people for the private one-day intensive that I'm doing at the Vegas Sandcastle. And if you and I would like to cross paths right there, I highly recommend that you phone our international office and at least get in the queue. And I'm speaking to everybody directly. I'll just give you our office number here, and you can phone our international office right here at 519-542-3043, 519-542-3043. We're going to conclude today's Google Hangout with a little bit about what's going on at the Vegas Sandcastle, and you're probably going to be pretty excited like I am and like my clients are. And this gives you a chance, if you're just checking us out and looking at who you're going to work with in 2014 and who's going to give you the kind of business acceleration that you really want. You're going to want to join some of my clients, my Omega Mind clients, on a one-day intensive at a very exclusive place in Vegas. Unbelievable deal for you if you know that our one-day events run $25,000 to hire me out for a day. Clients fly in, work with me for a one-day intensive at the Canadian Lake Home. It's $25,000, or a one-day in a group setting is normally $5,000 per client. And I'm going to show you today how to, and a whole new model on what we did in last fall. All right, so I want to take you through some data today on what I did to close $300,000 in coaching in just a little under 6 weeks from scratch on a whim. And if you've been following our track record, you know that we've been positioning and selling very high-end programs and services over the last 11 years. We've perfected some really cool systems. And it all starts with programs like here, like Omega Mind. We've also got programs like, let me just change this here, and our certification co-branding program. And there is it right there. If you don't have our manifesto yet, I'd highly recommend that you do, because it's really important that if you want to survive in today's marketplace, you've got to get in front of the trends. And the trends aren't anymore having a book. Everybody seems to have a book. And again, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't have a book. Hear me clearly. But getting a book only, what it does is it puts you at the same level as all the other experts and gurus in your marketplace. And if they've got more traction, if they've got, they've been in business longer, etc., it's very difficult to compete, especially in the online world today. If you're positioning yourself where everybody else is, normally what we're finding today is that most people are positioning themselves at the lowest rungs of the price ladder. So instead, we want to make a flip, or, as we talk about, inverting your business funnel and positioning a high-end program or service. So what I'd like to do today is we're going to turn off that. We'll put back Omega Mind on here just for a second here. Why? Because this is a program that I created literally on the fly, on a whim, and I'm going to take you through what I did because I want to be your trusted advisor in the following years. So as all of you that have been following us for the last 9, 10 years or longer, you know that we've gone from the information age into the advisory age. This is a day and age in which people trust, and you do too, and so do I. We trust a few trusted resources that we rely on to make all of our strategic decision making. And in today's marketplace, never has it been more important that you position yourself as a trusted advisor. This is the recommendation age. This is no longer the information age. So you have to know some of the fundamental rules and shifts that have occurred in the marketplace. For example, traditional sales and marketing doesn't work anymore. This is the day and age of knowing how to promote what it is that you do, and do it very exclusively in exclusive settings, like we teach our clients, a whole entire new model around doing luxury coaching and consulting at luxury homes, or a luxury home coaching and consulting model. For those of you that are coming into our Las Vegas intensive, one-day intensive at the Vegas Sandcastle, you're going to learn how to do this yourself. And those of you that are in our Mega Mind program, that's some of the things that we're going to discuss, all the nuts and bolts and how to purchase, how to leverage your own luxury home for doing your own high-end programs and services. Because today's marketplace, it's not just about going to seminars anymore, all right? And I don't run seminars, I don't run conferences, I run exclusive events. And that's what the marketplace wants. That's what your potential clients want. Today's market, people want direct connections, and that's the power of Google Hangouts. That's why we've invested so much time. Wait till you see what I have at the end for you. Something to do with Google Hangouts. You're going to really love it. So stay tuned. And because we've been working very hard as a company behind the scenes, and I'm smart enough to surround myself with some brilliant people like Karen Leonard, Nadine Hill, and a lot of our clients that give me some amazing feedback as to, just like we did last night, Glenn, you should really do a boot camp on your breakthrough private letter email formula, which I did, and for some of you are on this training because of that today, and you will have seen and witnessed a really cool system on how we get open rates that run almost 100%. All right, and we're going to touch on that today because you want to write this down. Do what other people don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. Do what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. So I've created today 6 steps, if you will, on what I did. I first presented this in a mastermind event last November. And it was a mastermind event that I'm a part of, and all the mastermind members invest $25,000 to be in this mastermind. I've invested a lot of money in masterminding, a lot of money in coaching and consulting, and $25,000 pales in comparison to the level of coaching and consulting that I've invested in myself, and also that I've invested back into my own company. But suffice it to say that I'm in a couple of mastermind groups, and normally when I'm in mastermind groups, people are there, and when I present, I get a lot of people coming up to me afterwards wanting to be involved in what we're doing and wanting to hire me to help them set up what we're doing. So I want to take you through, not the full presentation that I gave, but I want to show you, because that preserves the integrity of the group, but I want to show you some of the highlights that I shared. And I want to help you start thinking not just in the here and now. You see, I run a company, and I too once was in a job where I had to transition into something else, i.e. into business, and I didn't really understand business, and I invested a lot of money in business to start. I invested more than I was making as an educator, as a teacher, as a vice principal, just to get things started. So I'm a huge believer in coaching and consulting, and I've invested dearly in that because I believe the number one investment that everybody can make today is in themselves and in their company. So I want to take you through how to strategize very strategically with yourself. And one thing that I can tell you in today's marketplace, you can't, as much as I know many of you out there are struggling, or you're not creating the kind of leaps that you really want in business. I understand that because I too was once in that position. One of the things that I've done always, and it's been I have to be honest with you, it's been very, very, very difficult, is to get out of the here and now. And please understand this. I believe that every entrepreneur doesn't focus the way they need to focus. And that's one of the reasons why I do a one-day intensive. So you get an opportunity to intensely focus for one day on your business with me. And my intensives are unbelievably, painstakingly exhausting, because of what I cover, what I show you, what we do. You see, I'm a believer that you give first. You be a trusted resource. So I'm going to give you some of the resources that I use and the steps that I use to help you make that quantum leap. So going back to what I said, we need to know how to intensely focus on the here and now. But the problem with so many entrepreneurs is they're struggling in the here and now. They don't really know how to focus here so they can execute not only now, but stay ahead and at the forefront of the trends that are going on in the marketplace. And I know in today's market, and over the last few years, it's been painful to stay in front of the trends. And I've created a pretty cool system to cut out all the different stuff that I was kind of found myself roped into doing, and that created a lot of friction in my business. Things like, having to think that I had to hire out a copywriter. So I hired out copywriters in my early days. Even though I was closing high-end deals, the coaches and consultants that I was hiring said, Glenn, you need a copywriter. You need to promote a low-end product. Glenn, you need a business funnel. So I created all these, business funnels. We had downsells, upsells, side sells. I created a lot of different programs. And what I realized, and like I've been in business long enough, that in the systems that we've created, and I showcased in the mastermind group that I belong to last November, is that you don't need a website, you don't need a copywriter, you don't need a product, you don't need to be good in sales, you don't need any leads for that matter. And one of the reasons why I shared our breakthrough private letter email formula last night. It's kind of a mouthful on what I do that's completely different, and it's leveraging a really cool way of reaching out to your marketplace. And it doesn't take a lot of time. That's what I want you to understand. Business doesn't take a lot of time. If you allot some time to strategically think about what you need to be thinking about in business. So when the going has gotten tough, and certainly during the financial crisis in America, because so much of our business is generated in the U.S., probably anywhere from 60 to 70% of our clientele come from the U.S., and then 35 to 40% from the rest of the world. People are holding on to money more. People weren't requiring me to go out and speak because events dried up, etc. So it got me thinking around how can I simplify systems and keep them simplified, especially when people, as I saw the shift in what's been going on in the marketplace, that it's funny. Never have we had more access to information, and never had we been, collectively, me, you, been more overwhelmed in how to make critical decisions. And so that's why I created our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, to show you some of our accelerated systems. Why I created Omega Mind here. You'll see it at the bottom here, just below me. A program where you work with me one-on-one in a small group setting, a really cool exclusive setting like we're doing at the Vegas Sandcastle right after the one-day intensive, or clients come into the Canadian Lake Home for an entire year, and I help you and assist you on building your systems and programs just like I have. So I want to take you through some of what I shared at the Mastermind event that I was participating in back in November, where I wanted to show people, and everybody wanted to find out my Omega Mind model, because all the Mastermind partners, before I launched the program and the event that I was at in the summer, I had put it on myself to, and a couple of people challenged me to bring Omega Mind to the marketplace, not in 2014, but in 2013. So, but I didn't make the decision actually until September of last year, in 2013. So I want to take you through what I did and understand that I did this all myself. All right, now I have a couple of people that work in my office. Nadine set up a couple of things for me. She's one of our project managers. She helps out on website development, all the kind of fine stuff in behind the scenes. But I want you to know right now that I never used a website for Omega Mind to launch it. That's a $25,000 program. I never used a copywriter. I didn't use video for that, other than I used a Google Hangout, and I'm going to show you what to do very strategically, because you want to be able to leverage your clients. And if you don't have clients right now, it's really easy to start leveraging the fact that your advice is valuable by giving out a free consultation to somebody over a cup of coffee, inviting maybe even some friends, people, trusted acquaintances that know you, that you can give out some valuable advice, get a video testimony from them, so you start building some traction. Because in today's marketplace, you've got to have social proof. And last night, I showed as an exclusive bonus one of my files, our social proof file, and how I use it and leverage it in our breakthrough private letter email program, and it's really stealth, and it's highly effective. So And I gave that program last night in a boot camp format to show everybody that was interested in the one-day intensive with me at the Vegas Sandcastle some of the systems that I teach and I show clients at our one-day intensives. And this gives you a chance to just immerse yourself in your own business and being able to see kind of, if you will, a new paradigm unfolding for yourself, because everybody has blinders. I have blinders. You have blinders. And that's why, you know, I like to leverage my clients, because they help me see the blinders that I have, and they help me develop some systems. And last night's boot camp, for example, was in response to my clients telling me, Glenn, this is a really good idea. You should, you should teach your private letter formula to a broad audience globally, where people can use that in order to help any business get in the door, if you will, with anybody that you're going after. All right, so let's move through here. I'm going to disappear like I normally do. Sometimes I teach by holding up sheets of paper like I do, like this, so giving out our phone number, etc. Sometimes I disappear and I show you my screen. And I've chosen to do that today. So I'm going to disappear, come back, disappear, come back, disappear, come back, all right? So in doing that, we'll turn off our lower third now so you can see me. And I'm really excited here for what we're going to cover. So let's get to it, all right? I want to share with you these 6 steps. The first step, as I said, is to be at the forefront of a trend in the marketplace today. So when we say a trend here, we're talking about set data, and I'm writing this out here for you, and it looks like this. And SET is an acronym, S-E-T, and S-E-T stands for you want to be at the forefront of what's going on sociologically. So this is the recommendation age. People invest, they move forward based on the recommendations of other people, all right? Technologically, what's working technologically? Well, I showed you last night a really cool system on how to use our breakthrough private client letter email formula in terms of reaching anybody with open rates that run almost 100%. That's a new technology, and it's a really cool technology. And when you see it, it's very simple, yet it's highly strategic. And it's what other people don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. Remember, my kids are kind of tired of me saying that, because when I talk to them about success, I always talk to them about focusing on what others don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. So the E in, or the T, sorry, I jumped to T right away. The T is technological trends. So, technological trends today, LinkedIn and Google Hangouts. It's where everything is going. So you got to have a great LinkedIn profile. You got to have a great Google Hangout presence. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you look at me, mine's certainly not perfect, but we've got a really cool way of running our Google Hangouts and bringing us qualified leads, and that's we're going to go there here very shortly, okay? And the last one is economic, okay? The E then in set data is being at the forefront of the economic trends in today's marketplace. I've given out a lot of trending data. For example, by the year 2020, 40% of North Americans are going to be freelancing. That's an economic trend. Let me give you another economic trend. By 2017, the known North America, the known world in North America, will be the #1 employer will be self. Self will be the #1 employer. That's another economic trend. Let me tell you another economic trend. Today, people want to belong to something bigger than themselves. And that's one of the reasons why our Omega Mind program is so, why our clients absolutely love it. And you've had a chance, you've been following us, to meet many of our Omega Mind member clients. You've met some of the clients that are in Omega Mind. I've interviewed them already in terms of just before Christmas, 30-day transformations and what they've been able to do. Stephen Rowell, excellent job. Susan and Chris Smith, excellent. And those of you that come into the Vegas one-day intensive, you'll meet some of these clients that I've been able to interview. And a huge economic trend is this today, and I've quoted this from Marcus Buckingham and Kurt Kaufman, that in order to survive in today's marketplace, you've got to have high-end programs and services, and you've got to be able to leverage your clients. That's another economic trend, okay? So keep that in mind. As you're focusing on the here and now, what can you, and this is why I get up a little bit earlier every day, not every day, some days I sleep in a little bit, but I've created new patterns to get up to make sure I focus on where and taking our company where it needs to be in order to stay at the forefront of what's going on in today's marketplace. All right, so I want to help you get that advantage. I'm going to take you through these 6 steps now, and everything is focused on staying at the forefront and leveraging set data, sociological, economic, and technological trends. Okay, so let me just disappear here and show you the best thing that I did in business, and that was leveraging and creating a certification co-branding program. All right, now the reason why I did that, that was a picture of when we launched our certification co-branding program almost 3 years ago now, is I realized that in the service-based economy of which we were moving quickly into 3 years ago, that there was room for companies to grow and grow massively. Not around low-end products, because typical business funnels and that whole model was drying up 3 years ago. It was absolutely crucial, like we've been teaching for the last 11 years, to invert your funnel, and instead of starting up here, flip the funnel. So instead of bringing people down here to your highest end programs and services, bringing them up at the top of your funnel and making that your value proposition in the marketplace. So in step number 1, we focused on staying at the forefront of where the marketplace was going in the area of services. And that's why I showed you the manifesto shortly, because it kind of shows you the trends of where you need to be and realize that we're in the intellectual property era. That this is the marketplace today of not working harder, but working a lot smarter. Okay, it's the intellectual property age. That intellectual property comes from your brain, and it comes through a synthesis of what's gone on in your life experiences. And if you know how to codify those two really carefully, like I show you in our manifesto and our 10 tips, and I'm going to show those here just really quickly, you're going to know how to create residuals or passive streams of income for your advice. And that's crucial today. So you have passive streams of income coming in. So step 2 then was then moving into creating and teaching clients how to create their own certification and co-branding program. And those are the 2 programs that we created to educate people in the importance, and entrepreneurs, coaches, business owners, on the importance of not licensing your material, your intellectual property, not franchising your intellectual property. You see, the problem today is that companies that go the licensing route, if there's any kind of service orientation around what you're licensing, the FTC is automatically going to come down on you and say you are a franchise and shut you down. So I didn't want licensing. I didn't want franchising for a whole bunch of reasons. That's where we created a certification program. So how to create a certification or high-end training division within your company, or if you're just starting off from scratch, how to start like with a big company perspective and create massive momentum in your marketplace where you've got a certification and a co-branding arrangement so that you are leveraging your intellectual property through your clients, through trainers, coaches in your industry. One of the best things, absolutely probably the best thing I've ever done in business. And so we took those 2 steps, and that's what I was thinking through last fall. What can I do to leverage the trends that we're at the front of in the marketplace, that we've spent a lot of years, a lot of time developing? You know, I've spent over 11,000 hours coaching and consulting, working in the trenches with people to create massive breakthroughs in their business and help them build a business that they can be excited about because it's producing the kind of cash flow that they want. Most importantly, it's allowing them to do what they really want to be doing in life. So step 2 then was creating the CRR program. That took us to step 3 then, and that was creating Omega Mind on a whim. And that happened last September. Actually, it was last September the 19th. And I decided to do a 1-day intensive with a few clients in Phoenix, Arizona, in a boardroom style. And by the way, whether you have clients or not doesn't matter. It's easy to get people to work with you if you know what you're doing. And that's one of the reasons why I showed our breakthrough private letter email formula last night on how to build some really cool traction for yourself and get in front of the kinds of people that you really want to. So last September, I decided I was going to launch Omega Mind on the whim, and a whole new way of masterminding, not another sit and get, what I call a sit and get, but a way where you come with and accelerate and focus at a much faster rate, and you begin to execute what's taken me years and years and years and thousands of hours to figure out. I can help clients today do that very quickly, very strategically, where we get a chance to really focus on your business and then get the virtual training and assistance between the next Omega Mind event. So decided to put that program together. Partially, I thought it was time because I hadn't done too many live events, very few, because we've set up our whole coaching program to do it virtually so that I can travel, be with my family, etc. But I wanted to, what I found was I wasn't leveraging the teaching side of what we can do strong enough. And that's part of my backstory. What makes my company different is the fact that I'm a teacher by passion and by training. And I've also been in a lot of different industries and had to figure a lot of things out for clients and help them grow. And you've probably seen our burgeoning proof of all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds into the thousands of testimonials that we've amassed over the last 11 years. So I put Omega Mind together because I really wanted to leverage my teaching skills, and I wanted to leverage something else that happened that was one of the best things that I did in 2013, and that was start doing one-day intensives on a regular basis at the Canadian Lake Home. And I love them so much. The problem was, I wanted to leverage my time, and I believe that modeling is the #1 way that we learn. So I wanted to bring a group of like-minded people together who wanted to make significant and huge transformations in their business, and really at the bottom line wanted to make speed their competitive advantage and tired of going slow. And in today's marketplace, that's the problem with the traditional business funnel. It teaches you to go slow, undervalue your advice, and you end up spending a ton of time in the wrong areas of business. And it's no wonder that so many people are jaded and cynical. So that brings me into step 3 then. And let's go here for a second. So I'm going to disappear. And what we did then is I launched Omega Mind last September the 19th. And these are the 3 rules, and I shared these 3 rules on our boot camp last night, our Breakthrough Private Letter Email Formula boot camp. And the first rule, and you can see the link for it if you want to be involved in it. It's on our Hangout page there. You've probably seen it. I know some of you have registered to get the recording. The first rule here is be a person or resource to somebody. That's crucial. Today's marketplace, if you want to be a trusted advisor, you've got to be a person of resource to somebody else. And then follow up with a private letter for exclusivity. Okay? Second rule, create a strategic educational process. And the third rule is the money is in the follow-up. All right? And most people do a pathetic job of following up, don't know how to follow up. And when they do follow up, they haven't created any kind of significant impression. And that's why our Breakthrough Private Letter Email Formula is so powerful, because it's focused on creating a massive impression for your potential JV partner, your B2B strategic alliance partner, business to business or business to client, business to customer, B2C, for a potential business with somebody. So you want to be really strategic. So I set up those 3 rules. And those are the 3 rules that I followed in launching Omega Mind. All right. So that brings us then to the next step. And so if we go back here, the next step then was to create a Google Hangout. And all of you can do this. You can create a Google Hangout. I created it with Joy Pecchia, and if you go back in our Google Hangouts from October 7th here, last fall, 2013, I did a Google Hangout live from our international office here. You'll see it's the same backdrop here. Many of our Google Hangouts have been at the Canadian Lake Home. And I interviewed Joy, who was a client of ours, and what I did for her and assisted her in creating her own certification co-branding program. And if you missed it, you'll see that she's been able to grow her company very significantly, very strategically, and today she's got big companies calling her. Why? Because she's not just an author, she runs a certification program. What does that communicate? That automatically communicates you've got tested, proven systems. So you can do this too. You don't need you can take a client maybe that you've consulted, and that person agrees to you interviewing the person based on what you've assisted them with in your consultation. So you can do this very easily and very, very quickly, just like I have. All right. So the next step then was, after creating a Google Hangout, was creating an executive summary. Okay, and that's crucial. An executive summary shouldn't be any more than 2 pages in length. And on a previous Google Hangout, I've taken you through the Omega Mind executive summary as an example to show you how we vet our clients for Omega Mind. And I've got 5 criteria. And I shared with you the criteria, those 5 criteria that should be in your executive summaries. All right? Because we want to make things really easy, really simple. We want to do what others don't do, can't do, wouldn't think of doing. And so I'm showing you those steps here of what we have done. All right. So the next step then after that, after the executive summary, was going to sending out some private letters. And last night in our boot camp, I showed you my breakthrough private letter email formula, a fail-proof way to ensure almost 100% open rates. All right, it's pretty strategic. I've never seen anybody do anything close or that resembles what we do. And I showed you everything from 4 case studies, from somebody that was pretty well a cold lead to somebody who was a former client, reactivating that client, to another case study of, what was the other case study used, because we have a ton of them. So I decided to go with 4. Third one was, somebody in our STP program, our $1,500 program, Speed to Profits program, and I showed you how we bumped that person immediately into our 1-day intensive with me using private client letter. And then I used an example of reaching out to the faculty of the dean for the Faculty of Business from Wake Forest University. And so I gave you those 4 examples. I showed you some of our files, some exact writing. I gave you 6 principles that go into each private letter. And I broke all that down for you, but I want to just summarize that all right now. But we've been a huge fan of using, and I've been a huge fan of using private letters. Why? Because nobody else is doing that, and doing it using the conduit of email. And I showed you our strategic publishing format of turning that letter and publishing it very strategically to make sure that that person, when they get that email, they open it up. And it's a lot faster even than using private video messaging, which we use very strategically. And I showed you how I've been able to engage very high-end people in corporations, all using private video messages. So highly strategic. It requires you just to be a little bit different and to think a little outside the box, and then have a killer system like we teach our clients of putting it all together and executing and just growing your business like a true business. And that's really what we want to focus on today, right? So I focused on then creating that letter, and from that we developed and have been developing in the fall of last year a whole new Google Hangout program. So those were the 6 steps that I wanted to take you through that I revealed, among other things, at the mastermind event. But what I want you to see is that never has it been more important that you are positioning yourself at the forefront of what's going on in your marketplace, and that you trust yourself to realize that you have a calling to be an entrepreneur, or escalating your entrepreneurial skills. If you didn't think so, then why are you on this training here? This is an appointment that all of us have right now. You and I, we have an appointment right now in our Google Hangout. You and I have been designed. You and I have been, through a sense for a calling of purpose, been designed for you and I to connect right here, right now, virtually on our Google Hangout. Some of you right now have a calling to be involved at the Vegas Sandcastle. And I'm going to go through here because we've had a few people reaching out to us from last night, a number of calls that I've got to get back to, a huge queue of people that want to be involved, and I am involved in vetting those people that come in, and I open up my home sometimes for people to come in and work with me intensely, like an Omega Mind, and this gives you and I a chance for our paths to cross even deeper. So first of all, what I want to show you, and here is a program that we're getting ready to give away. This is our special report, Discover the 7 Elements Required to Attract, Close High-End Clients by Leveraging Google Hangouts. We've got a really cool program that we've been putting together in a special report format. For those of you that are clients of ours, we're actually going to give you virtual training on this program, and some of you are already getting the training. So that's a program that we've been developing behind the scenes over the last couple months, and we'll be talking more about that on our next Google Hangout. So watch for that. That will be released sometime this week, or maybe it'll be released on our next Google Hangout next Monday. So stay tuned for that, okay? You don't want to miss that. There's nothing like it in the marketplace. We've invested hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, not to mention the time taken by my team and myself to figure out Google Hangouts and how to use them to close high-end deals, all right? And the next thing I want to show you is the event that I'm doing. This is the Vegas Sandcastle exclusive invitation, our private one-day business intensive with Glenn Dietzel. My phone has been ringing like crazy today, and people have been texting me. I exchanged last night how to exchange text messaging with me so we can communicate, and vetting people for the Vegas Sandcastle exclusive invitation. If you'd like to be here for a one-day intensive, here's what we're going to cover. And if you take a look here, we're going to focus on how to create and fill your own high-level exclusive events that run 5K to 50K and even much higher. I'm going to show you the same processes that I use. A proprietary method to find out exclusive luxury properties for running your own high-level mastermind and other exclusive events, all right? And how to leverage certification, co-branding, coaching, and consulting program into a 7 to 9 figure business empire for yourself. And at the back of everything that we do is how to flip your business funnel to educate clients to desire your coaching and consulting programs that run 5 to 50K and higher. And that's one of the reasons why I did the boot camp last night. So those of you that are new to who I am, new to what we do, you got a really stealth system, one of the many, 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 many systems that we teach our clients on how to get and attract your ideal clients to want to select you long term. So that is the event, and let's just go back here just for a second here. And if you'd like more information, if you would like to be involved at some level in the event, just go here to newgurumodel.com/one-day. You can get more contact or more information about that. If you've got something you'd like to think through, I recommend this. Is that one of the things that I found about the most successful people is they're able to make fast decisions. So there's no high pressure sales with anything that we do. If you have a question, you want to think through something, phone our international office, the same number that all of our clients phone, 519-542-3043, and you definitely want to check out newgurumodel.com/one-day. All right. We do have room. I've got a note here for if you'd like to do some special social media for us. We will give you an unbelievable deal for the day. And if you'd like to be considered for that, oops, don't phone that number there. But 519-542-3043, 519-542-3043. And all I can tell you is this, you can see the guarantee on that page. You have not seen anything like what I'm going to show you and teach you. It's a day to spend on your entire day, and I tell you it's a long day. You get to meet a lot of our clients, but most importantly, it's a day to focus on your business and model what I'm doing. And that's what I set up the private one-day intensive for. If you are a client of Awakened, you get to come in at no cost. So all you need to do is just contact our office as soon as possible. If you haven't seen the emails or the notifications that we've given you, just call our office, and you can come in for a one-day intensive as an exclusive bonus of being a part of our program. So with that, I wanted to just share with you really quickly how you can make major impact, how if you focus on doing what other people don't do, can't do, wouldn't think of doing, and you surround yourself with an accountability system. And if you've been following some of our Google Hangouts, I gave you an accountability transaction form. All of my Omega Mind members, and you have to go back in some of our previous Google Hangouts, all of our Omega Mind members are using this. Why? Because I believe it's the most fundamental way of tracking what you should be tracking in business around closing deals. And so you want to definitely download that. And if you want to raise the accountability on yourself, and there's nothing like, public accountability, you definitely want to check out our one-day intensive. And as an example of what we do in our Omega Mind events, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about the Vegas Sandcastle event, and this is totally exclusive. It's going to be done in a luxury home. I show you how to run your own events like that, even if you're starting from scratch, and why you shouldn't do your events like other people do in a seminar format, a conference format, stuff like that. And you are going to be impressed with what we cover there. So I wanted to, again, just in summarizing here, cover today what I did to sell a lot of programs back in the fall in 6 weeks, $300,000 worth of coaching programs that didn't take me a lot of time. And that's what I didn't want to do. I didn't want a lot of time. I just wanted a few little systems where I vet everybody directly so they don't go through anybody else, and yet still maintaining the lifestyle business that I've created. And that's the outworking of, or the highlights of what I did that I covered here today. So I trust that our paths, you and I, our paths will cross sooner than later. I trust that you understand that if we just stay in a virtual connection like this, that and the reality is this, that it's too easy for you not to raise the accountability on your business and on yourself and leveraging a more intelligent business model. And this is why I've created this one-day intensive. This is why my clients have invested in Omega Mind, so they raise the expectations, the accountability of themselves, and what they're going to accomplish this week. Why? Because they're operating within a more intelligent business framework. And that's what we're showing you on our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts. How to do what other people don't do, can't do, or wouldn't think of doing. In today's marketplace, you've got to be highly strategic. So anyways, I look forward to our next Google Hangout together. I trust you got a ton out of what we covered today, and I just want to salute you to going for your legacy, going for your dreams, making your dreams happen right now. Stop, if I hadn't realized this concept right now about making my dreams happen right now, I would have held off on putting Omega Mind into 2014, 6 months. And here's the reality. I would have held back myself from moving into the next paradigm of success, because every paradigm of success ultimately is constrained by the four walls of our comfort zone. And if you want to take the kind of quantum leaps, you've got to get yourself out of what's holding you back. And you got to make a decision. You know what, Glenn? As I share with all my clients, you pay for the best, you only cry once. Pay for the best and you only cry once. We're not going anywhere as a company. We have a documentary being created for our Omega Mind event. So, I want your success and my Omega Mind members' success probably more than they want success. And that's why I put this together, because I get to leverage the teaching, learning side of what I bring to our clients so they can teach their clients how to get the kind of success that they want even faster, which in turn gets them the social proof, which in turn allows them to build their companies even faster. All right? Modeling is the #1 way that we learn. Welcome to the recommendation age, everybody. Welcome to the advisory age. We have now moved to a completely new quanta, if you will, a completely new way of sharing your advice. And as I said, I hope our paths meet very, very soon. Have a great one, everyone. I look forward to our next Google Hangout together.